Is it time again already? This week seemed to fly by, but I managed to get some work done for Ace Survivors. This week mainly went to creating the enemy ships for the game. I set it up so I can use a collection of transforms to position the ships and choose to either spawn random ships on those points or spawn ships in a specific order. Obviously, the bulk of this work came down to just designing the ships themselves. Of course, I'm using an asset pack for the art, but the asset pack is actually just a bunch of modular parts, so it's up to me to find the right way to put it together. I like the final designs that I landed on. Once I was done designing the ships, I then revisited my asteroid shader for the umpteenth time, and hopefully the final time. If you watched my previous video, you may have noticed that asteroids were looking a bit flat, and that's because I've been struggling to get the asteroids to render properly. The source of this issue was actually using an atlas map for the asteroid textures. I wanted to do this for optimization, however I'm currently reliant on using ShaderGraph, which is a node-based shader editor inside of Unity. ShaderGraph does not natively support UV offset with Atlas sprites, so ultimately I decided to de-atlas the asteroids, which doesn't really result in any noticeable performance difference, and allows me to get the visual effect I was going for. And now, the asteroids have a much nicer appearance. Once I had my asteroids solved, I jumped back into the enemies and started working on their AI. I had designed the ships, but they were basically just static images at this point, so it was time to decide how the AI is going to work in my game. In Vampire Survivors, the AI simply moves towards the player in as straight a line as possible, but this doesn't really fit the style of my game, and asteroids already have this behavior, so the ships wouldn't really feel much different. One of the main differences between asteroids and ships is that ships will have weapons, and this means that if they just move towards the player at all times, the weapons would create far too many hazards for the player to avoid. So I decided to take a page out of Galaga and have enemy formations where the enemies always stay in preset groups and fly down from the top of the screen. After they go off the screen, they reappear some distance ahead of the player, creating a kind of attack path behavior. I think this is the best system for primitive ships, but for larger boss ships, I'm thinking of having a different system, since having such a large ship instantly move to another location would be rather jarring. Creating the ships takes a fair amount of time, since I'm designing and programming them in parallel, and I want to be sure that I'm following the best practices and also not creating something that I will have to tear apart later. So that's basically all I got done this week, which is fine. Game dev can't always move at a breakneck pace, and as I get closer to finishing the game, the progress will obviously slow down. But there's still plenty of work to do, so I better get back to it. To everyone who made it this far in the video, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, and if you want to follow my game dev journey, subscribe for future videos. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about game dev. Finally, to all my fellow devs out there, good luck.